Is renting more affordable than buying a home in today's market?
I keep it real, I keep it real, I keep it real, just keep it real.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Sam Hartman, keeping it real estate here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And as always, I am coming to you with another great real estate topic to help create some context and clarity in the real estate world so that you can be a confident consumer when it comes to buying or selling your home. And so today I have the tried and true long-time conversation piece when it comes to housing. Is it more affordable to rent or is it more affordable to buy? Is it better to rent or is it better to buy? And everybody's answer might be different to that question based off of their personal situation and needs. But I want to dive into our current market dynamics that bring this conversation up. You might have even seen some news headlines recently saying that it is more affordable to rent. And so I want to cover that data. I want to go a little bit deeper into the numbers and look at a more specific context data-driven conversation about this continued debate and conversation of should I rent or should I buy? And hopefully with the information in hand, you have the tools to make the best decision for you and your family and your housing needs. As always, if you find this information valuable and helpful, give this video a like, give me a comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next content coming down the pipe at you. So with that being said, let's dive into some of the data that is feeding these news headlines that are saying it's more affordable to rent today than it is to own a home. And I'm not going to argue with you. There are a lot of situations for consumers that it makes sense to rent an apartment or a home rather than to buy. But I want to get into the numbers so you understand really the difference here. So I have a chart from the National Association of Realtors that breaks down the average median rents and average home costs across the country. And so overall, the average rental price is $1,708 a month. And now they break that out between a studio apartment, which is $1,426, a one-bedroom apartment, which is $1,587, and a two-bedroom, which is $1,889. And so all of those average rental prices across the country. But the average monthly mortgage payment in today's market with challenging affordability is just over $2,000 a month at $2,040. And so you can see here, there is a discrepancy between a one-bedroom apartment. You could save almost $450 a month by renting versus buying a home. Even more affordability if you're willing to reduce your space and square footage for a studio apartment. But as we get into the two-bedroom apartments or houses, you're looking at $1,889. The price difference it's close between owning a home and renting a home or an apartment. And I have news for you. Most homeowners are purchasing homes that are 3 or more bedrooms. 2 bedrooms, I think, are a great option for someone that does still need that affordability and maybe doesn't have the space needs of maybe a growing family. But a 2-bedroom house would really help you with affordable pricing to enter that homeownership market. But most homeowners, most homes, at least in Fort Wayne, Indiana, are going to be 3 or more bedrooms. So that's something to think about with this average monthly expenses for your mortgage at $2,040. You're actually getting more for the money, even though renting an apartment, bottom line dollar-wise, is more affordable at this point. So that is just the strict numbers of rent costs versus homeownership costs. And I think a lot of people fear the step into homeownership, but they fear it for the wrong reason. What a lot of people fear is that their home value is going to crash. And they fear that because of the recency bias of the great financial crisis back in 2008. Well, in 2008, that recession was completely surrounding the housing market. Historically speaking, the housing market does almost nothing but appreciate year over year. So if you're purchasing a home with a 5-year window of owning and living in that home, you can almost certainly bet that you're going to be in a stronger financial equity standpoint at the end of those 5 years simply by the appreciation of your home as an asset versus the money that you would save every month by having a little bit more affordability in a rental. And so let's look at a graph that really shows that picture of how price appreciation builds your wealth as a homeowner. And this is a picture that as a renter, you don't get at all. Everything that you pay every month is going into your landlord's pocket and never comes back to you. You never see that growth back in any way at all. So let's look at this great chart. This is taking the home price expectation survey over the next 5 years in terms of what they're projecting for price appreciation. And if you bought a $400,000 home in 2024, and we took that home price expectation survey, which that is a survey of over 100 experts, real estate professionals, economists that provide their thoughts and opinions. So it's grabbing a lot of information and opinions, and it's boiling it down into a projection over the next 5 years. If you bought a $400,000 house in 2024 and rode the appreciation over that 5-year period, you would have gained $83,000 in equity simply from your home appreciating in value. And that, my friends, is what builds the wealth of homeowners. That is the reason that 90% of millionaires in the United States say that they became a millionaire due to real estate and real estate investments. It's that growth, it's that equity that has built their wealth over the years and given them assets to then leverage for additional monies and additional purchasing power and additional wealth building avenues. So with that being said, you could have some monthly savings by renting, and that's fine if that's the route you go. But over a 5-year period, the money that you would save by renting versus owning a home gets totally washed out when you consider the equity gains you could achieve simply from your home appreciating in value. So if we took that savings over a 5-year period, that's almost $20,000 that you would save by renting a home versus buying a home. But if you bought that home and you rode that equity out over a 5-year period, you would actually still end up over $63,000 wealthier by owning the home and paying more every month on that mortgage because of the gain in equity. Equity is such a powerful tool in real estate. Equity is such a phenomenal savings avenue in real estate because equity works in 3 ways. You can build equity really in 3 different ways. The first is your payment equity. Every month that you pay your mortgage, a bit of that payment gets paid down on your mortgage balance and creates more equity. So if you bought the home for $400,000, you've been paying your mortgage for 5 years, maybe now you only owe $350,000 on that mortgage. So that's $50,000 of equity you've built in the home simply by paying your mortgage. The second way that you can build equity is what we were just talking about in the graph before. That's price appreciation. So over this 5-year period, your home has appreciated $83,000 in value. That's an additional $83,000 of net worth that now you have sitting there in your home as more or less a savings account for you. And the third and final way that you can build equity in your home is what I like to call sweat equity. Maybe you're investing in your home. Maybe you're adding a new deck off the back of your home. That's going to add value to your home, and that value is more equity in your pocket. Maybe you're doing a kitchen renovation. That's going to create value to your home. That's going to raise its price, and that's going to create value and equity. So to look at this in a more picture-based, follow me over the whiteboard. Let's do it there. All right, so here we are. We've got this XY axis graph. We've got value on this side here, and then we've got time here. So we're looking at a 30-year period because that is the typical term for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So you begin paying your mortgage, you buy your home here at $400,000. You begin paying your mortgage, and every year you start building that equity. You start paying that mortgage down. It starts slow when you start paying your mortgage. You pay more interest up front than you do on your principal. But the longer you pay on your mortgage, the more gets paid down, and it starts looking something like this, all the way until year 30, when you've paid that mortgage off, and now you have $400,000 in equity simply by paying your mortgage off in 30 years. Now, most homeowners don't own their home for 30 years. It's phenomenal if you get to that point. It's a wonderful feeling to pay off your mortgage, but most homeowners don't ever get to that point. But let's look at the top side of the graph. This is your payment equity. You're paying your mortgage and you're getting equity by making that payment. Now let's look on the top side of the graph where the home appreciates in value. The ups and downs, the ups and downs, the ups and downs. But again, in real estate, historically speaking, mostly ups. So again, regardless of when you sell that home, you're building equity in two different ways. Now, the third piece would be sweat equity. So maybe in year five you did some renovations to the home. Maybe you did a kitchen renovation. Maybe you added some new windows. Maybe you finished off an unfinished basement or something like that. So in year 5, you might get a little bump in that equity, and now the appreciation goes from there. So this is how equity is built. This is how homeownership creates wealth and puts money back into homeowners' pockets. And when you pay rent, even though the rent month over month might be more affordable, you don't get to take advantage of opportunities and wealth building avenues like this as a renter. So again, I know a lot of renters are nervous and scared about buying a home because they are scared that prices might crash, but I've got phenomenal data to show you if that is your fear and concern. So reach out to me and I'll help walk you through it so that you can feel comfortable with that. Now, there are other things that you could be concerned about or should be concerned about when owning a home, because when you rent, your landlord is going to fix the things that go broken. So as a homeowner, you need to budget and plan for those types of things. So those are real and common concerns and fears to have, and it's why you shouldn't just blindly jump into homeownership. You should really have a great, strong financial picture of where you stand and where your picture could lead you into homeownership, or when the right time for you to jump into homeownership would be, because we want to make sure you're on a solid financial standing to make homeownership a reality before you make that leap. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you know someone that could benefit from this information, make sure you share this video with them. Remember to subscribe to the channel, give me a like and comment. It'll help this information get to everyone who needs to see it most. Thanks for keeping it real estate with me today, guys.
I keep it real, just keep it real.